We all live by the clock, right? But what if time itself is kind of a lie? What if that steady tick-tock we base our lives on is just one big illusion? In this explainer, we're going to see how Albert Einstein proved that time is absolutely not what it seems. And then, get this, we'll uncover a 1400-year-old text that unbelievably seems to say the exact same thing.
So let me start with a simple question for you. Is 1 minute always 1 minute? I know, it sounds like a trick question, but the answer is a huge, resounding no. Seriously. Depending on where you are and how fast you're moving, your minute could be someone else's hour, or even their entire lifetime.
You see, for centuries, we all believed in this idea of a universal clock, like a single giant metronome for the whole cosmos, ticking away at the exact same rate for everyone, everywhere. It was a nice, comforting thought, right? A fixed rhythm for the universe. Yeah, it was also completely wrong.
So, in one corner, you've got Sir Isaac Newton. His idea of time as this straight, unbending arrow dominated science for ages. But then, in the other corner, Albert Einstein comes along and just tears up the whole rulebook. He basically said, nope, time isn't an arrow, it's a river. It can speed up, it can slow down, and it can even bend. So how did Einstein figure this out? Well, his theory of relativity didn't just change our understanding of time, it completely shattered it. So you might want to buckle up because this is where the universe gets really, really weird.
The main idea here is something called time dilation, and this is a proven scientific fact. It basically means that time is personal. Your clock is ticking at a different rate than my clock, and the difference all comes down to one thing: speed. The faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Wild, right?
The most famous way to wrap your head around this is the twin paradox. So picture two identical twins. One of them stays here on Earth, while the other hops in a spaceship and zooms off at close to the speed of light. When the traveling twin comes back, they find something absolutely mind-blowing. Their sibling on Earth is now older than they are. They have literally time-traveled into the future.
And it's not just speed that messes with time. Gravity does it too. Really massive objects, like planets and stars, they literally bend the fabric of space-time. And the stronger the gravity, the more time slows down. You know that movie Interstellar, where a few hours near that giant black hole equal decades back on Earth? That's not just science fiction, that's real physics.
Now, all of this sounds like cutting-edge 20th century physics, doesn't it? But what if I told you that the core idea, that time is relative, was described in a text written 1400 years ago? Let that sink in for a second.
Check this out. This verse from the Quran, Surah Al-Hajj, makes a stunning claim. It says a single day in the divine realm is the same as 1,000 years of human time. It's a direct comparison between two totally different frames of reference, just like in Einstein's theory. And the really crucial part is that little phrase at the end, of those which you count. It's explicitly setting up our human experience of time as just one perspective, making it clear that other, vastly different perspectives exist. But it gets even more specific. There's a second verse from Surah Al-Ma'arij, and it describes a journey that takes just 1 day for the traveler, but get this, 50,000 years for an outside observer. So what could possibly cause such an extreme, massive distortion of time?
Well, the key here is the word ascent. It's talking about a journey, a trip through the cosmos. And what did Einstein teach us is the trigger for extreme time dilation? High-speed travel. The parallel is pretty unmistakable.
Okay, so what do we do with this? Are these verses just powerful metaphors, or are they actually describing a physical reality way before science ever caught up? Let's take a quick look at the two main ways people see this. So on one hand, you have the skeptic's view. They'd say this is just poetic language, right? A powerful way of saying God is beyond our understanding of time, that it simply means a very, very long time. But then, on the other hand, you have the believer's view. They argue that the language, especially in that second verse, is just too specific. The 50,000-year distortion is explicitly tied to the physics of travel, the ascent, and travel requires velocity, which triggers time dilation. For them, it lines up too perfectly to be just a coincidence.
But here's the thing. Whether you see these verses as metaphor or physics, the truly incredible part is the conceptual leap they both represent. For thousands of years, humanity was just locked into this idea that time was a constant, a rigid grid laid over the universe.
And both Einstein's science and this ancient text did the exact same revolutionary thing. They completely shattered that grid.
They both revealed that time isn't some rigid ruler, but a flexible, bendable fabric that can stretch and curve, all depending on where you are and how fast you're going.
It really leaves you with a profound question, doesn't it? For centuries, we were so certain that time was a constant, and we were dead wrong. It just makes you wonder, what else are we absolutely certain about today that is actually just an illusion? What other fundamental truths are just waiting for us to see them from a whole new perspective?